Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you're watching this from. Welcome to another week's episode of Close by Mo, where we talk about all things real estate. My name is Mohammed. I am your host. I'm a real estate investor and I'm a realtor based out of the Empire State of New York. Now, this week's episode is going to be a lot of fun because I talk about a lot of the quick ways that you, as a buyer, a seller, or just someone who's looking to get into real estate, can spot bad agents. Now, before I go any further, I want to just pause and say that when I use the term bad agent, I'm using that as sort of a blanket term. I believe that a lot of agents, including myself, we're just trying our best, working day in, day out. So when I say the term bad agent, I'm using that to cover sort of a little bit of everything. So from agents that are inexperienced to agents that are just, aloof, or people that are just very unorganized. So I just wanted to get ahead of that before jumping into all the different quick ways that you can spot a bad agent from afar. Without further ado, let's jump into a couple of the quick ways. Now, one of the first, I would say, actions or behaviors to give you an indicator whether or not an agent is right or bad or good for you is if you're the homeowner and you're looking to sell your house, if your agent or agents keep insisting that the timing has never been better, now's the right timing, you need to sell it to get the best price, you can't wait another month, that immediately should set off a red flag, right? If I'm in any interaction with a salesperson and they say, oh, this deal is going to expire unless you buy right away, that to me, frankly speaking, is a load of BS, right? And I like to advise all my clients the same thing. Unless you absolutely need to, or you have some kind of a deadline you need to stick to because you're moving for a job, or the bank is making you sell the property, or you're in some other kind of weird situation and you absolutely need to sell, you can almost always wait, right? My main indicator, which I've spoken about in other videos and my blog too, is I always watch what the Federal Reserve is indicating regarding the interest rates. If the interest rates are going to be going down, it means it's cheaper to borrow money. It means there's going to be more borrowers, more buyers. So as a home seller, that's more advantageous for you. If the interest rates are going up, less buyers, less interest in your house, so you might be better off waiting, unless, of course, you absolutely need to. Now, the second point that I like to make on deciding whether or not an agent is right for you is sort of just quizzing them, right? If the agent does not know the basic details of a property when they're listing it or when they're showing it, that just really kind of irks me a little bit. I mean, you have no idea how many times I've gone into an open house or I've been hosting an open house and the other agent had done no research on the property at all. So basic things like the square footage, the lot size, the year the property was built, the year it was remodeled, what work was done in the remodeling, which year the roof was replaced, a hot water tank, windows as well, big ticket items. Another thing that I also recently learned was the 3R report, or the 3 R's in real estate, which is the report of residential building record. So report of residential building record, those are the 3 R's. And that itself will tell any person who's looking into the property's history what the building permit history has been like, or the construction permit history. So this gives you a good idea of when and what scope of work was done in the property. So it gives you a peace of mind especially when you're looking to buy a house. Now, the third point in terms of helping figure out whether or not an agent is good or bad is if they have no idea on comms, or if they're going to be mispricing the property. Now, what I mean by that is if you're a buyer and you're looking to make an offer on a property, your agent should be able to tell you what a reasonable number is. The way they do that is they look at comparable homes in the area or in the specific zip code, and in terms of the number of bedrooms, the size, everything, and they'll give you a number of what they think the best suggested offer price is. If you're a home seller, your agent can do the exact same thing and give you an idea of how to price your property. Most of the time, my strategy is when I'm pricing a property, if I'm the listing agent, what I'll do is I'll find what the comps are, and then I'll list the price, or I'll recommend the seller to list the price at a little bit lower than that, because that encourages more buyers to pay attention to that listing, because technically it's priced lower than the rest of the market in that specific area. The fourth point is the agent is just unwilling to get creative in order to get a house sold or in order to close the deal. Now, I say this with a grain of salt because I understand how sensitive a matter this is for agents, but a lot of times what I've learned from really great agents is they're willing to get creative in the sense of focusing on how they can adjust their commission to still get the deal done, right? What that means is most of the time, if needed, If the buyer or the seller can save a few $1,000s and that will make them happy and get the deal closed on time, then both the buyer's agent and the listing agent should be open to figuring out whether they could take a little bit less commission just to get the deal done. I've done it in the past. The agents I've worked with that I really enjoy working with are more than happy to, work on this, of course, if you approach it the right way. But I totally understand why it's a little bit sensitive, because at the end of the day, it's less money from the agent's pocket. Now, the final thing that really irks me, and it's I don't know, because I almost didn't want to put this in the list because I wasn't too sure how people might feel about it, but I figured, what the heck, it annoys me, so I guess you guys should know too. It's just my pet peeves. When I'm working with another agent and they're just not punctual, so they don't show up on time, or they're a little bit late always, and they don't really tell you that what's happening, or they give you a reason for being late. That, as well as not dressing the part when they're going to a showing or a listing appointment, it just really upsets me, right? Because your client is entrusting you with either $1 million, $1 million plus sale or purchase, or however amount it is. It's the largest transaction they've probably done in their life up to then. You want to maybe be on time and dress the part. I can't tell you, like, there's been a few instances where I've gotten frustrated at an agent because they showed up late to the appointment, and they showed up wearing like shorts and flip-flops. I don't know if you're coming from the beach or not, but when I'm working with clients, I always like to dress the part. I always like to make sure I dress completely professional. If anything, overdress, because I recognize that those are the two easiest things that I can do without adding any more effort, right? I can show up on time and I can dress nicely. Those don't require any technical skills. They don't require any extra training or effort. Just dress nicely and be on time, right? And with that, those are the last points that I had to make on how to spot bad agents. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please please subscribe to and share this with your friends. I've been trying to put the word out on this video too, so if you're one of the lucky few that have been getting my broadcast messages and watching this and sharing it, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing and liking, guys. Without further ado, I will sign off now. Bye. Thank you.